So, Bishop, and I was thinking, I don't know about getting out there in this cold this morning.
Walking on ice.
Cold is not my thing, although I've been living in Buffalo for over 30-some years now. But, excuse me, when the cold weather comes, that's just not my, I'd rather be wearing some warm and what have you. But nevertheless, Yahweh, allow me to know that He will take care of me.
Yes.
And He has been doing just that. He is a faithful creator.
Yes, He is.
The purpose of being on the station, WUFO, is not just to have something to do. Not for us. We have stuff to do. And it's not to make a name for ourselves or, try to become popular, where people recognize you or what have you. That's not the purpose for the broadcast, not on the Sabbath and not on the Sunday broadcast. That's not the purpose. It is to reach those that are seeking for truth. It is to reach those that have an ear and that's in tune to what God has for them and wanting something different. If you're satisfied with what you had, then hey, good. I'm happy for you. But if you're not satisfied, it's just like, if you go out to eat, sometimes you can eat at a restaurant and sometimes you go out just as unsatisfied as you after you eat, and just as unsatisfied as if you were when you went in. Your stomach may be full, but you're not satisfied. You're not. There's not that good taste in your mouth. Mm-hmm. Sometimes my daughter and I, Sister Esther, we have a tendency to save the last little part of whatever that is that we're eating, because we want that to be the last flavor that is in our mouth. And sometimes the waitress will come and take her plate, and she's like, oh no, they took my plate, that's the last, well, that's the way the world, the word of Yahweh is. You want to get the last little bit, every bit of it that you can. And this is who this broadcast is to. It's those that are seeking, those that, have an appetite for the word. And it's good to have an appetite for the word of Yahweh. The scripture says, he that hunger and thirst after righteousness, you shall be filled. And He's waiting to fill you. We're going to be reading today from 2 Timothy, chapter 3. And we're going to start at verse 1. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
Perilous times shall come. And we're living in those perilous times. We're living in hard, treacherous. We're living in difficult times. Perilous times shall come.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
I like that, when men shall be lovers of themselves. Now, that scripture, as my husband often teaches us, that the word of Yahweh is exceedingly broad.
Yes.
Now, that scripture goes both ways, meaning that they love themselves so much that they are unwilling to help their neighbors, unwilling to be, involved in their children's lives and their family lives, lovers of themselves. They only care for themselves, make sacrifices for themselves, and then lovers of themselves, meaning lovers of themselves. Themselves that look like themselves, themselves that sit like themselves, themselves that talk like themselves. Then when they look in the mirror, they see themselves and not physically them. You know what I mean? So men in the last days, men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, and you know, always want something that somebody else had. This is certainly a jealous generation. I mean, you know, you know, it used to be that when a friend or a neighbor got something that you didn't have, you applauded them. Oh, you go, girl, go on, that's all right. Go ahead. Now they looking to see if they can either get the same thing or take what you have. That's why, you know, adultery is on the rise, because women are going after somebody else's husband. They ain't strong enough to get their own man. Come on now.